Come left when you come in. Thanks, bye. All right, good evening, everybody. He pointed at me, so I got to start the meeting. It is Monday, June 7th, 2021. I'm going to call the Prescott Planning Commission meeting to order. I'm going to see if Josh is coming too. But so we're going to take a roll call. Steve?
Here.
Lothar?
Here.
Steve?
Steve Most. Here.
Rob?
Here.
Todd Dolan's here. Elizabeth is here. I'm here. Got a special guest, a council person, Bailey. And I think I'm pretty sure Connie Jane said was going to be gone. And I'm going to check to see if I can get Josh here. All right, next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of May 3rd, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, May 3rd, 2021.
Second.
I got a motion and a second to approve the minutes of May 3rd, 2021. Is there any other discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the first item on the agenda to talk about is the it's a certified survey map. Costco Marine in town here. They actually own, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, both lots. The one where their main building's on in lot 11, or I think this is probably being called lot 11. But they need to combine their two lots because they want to add on to their main building, and if they did it right now, because of a lot line or property line, they have to meet setbacks. So they're going to combine the two lots together so they can expand to their building and not have to worry about setback issues. So this is just to combine it. Now they'll come back later with their building plans, but this is just to combine it so it gives them the option to do that.
So these two buildings that are on here, are they existing?
Yep,
Do they, all the buildings exist?
all the buildings exist,
Okay.
and they just want to take, both the properties are owned by them.
Mhm.
They just want to combine it into one lot.
So they can make it lot one?
I think it's actually, what's it say on the second
Lot
page?
11?
Lot 11, I think it is, of the CSM. No, it is lot 1, Todd.
Because
Located in
that's where the main
southeast.
building is lot one.
So it's located southeast, southwest section 26 range, 20 city of Prescott.
No,
Oh, it says including lot 1 of the certified survey map recorded, volume 6, page 171, document 379890. So I think they're combining lot 11 and they're making a lot 1. Oh, no, lot 1. So I think 1 is becoming lot 11. The CM is going to be lot 11. Is that the way you guys read it?
Yep.
You know, it's pretty straightforward. When you want to expand and there's lot lines, you got to combine them so you can do your expansion. Any questions?
I make a motion to approve the certified survey map.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second to approve the certified survey map for Costco Marine. I think that's what it says on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion on that motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That was actually a motion to recommend approval by the city council. I know that's what Rob said. Next item on the agenda is discussion of uses of the property at Turnaround on Lake Street. We have a comprehensive outdoor recreation plan in the packet. We have Bailey Rona sitting in the audience. She is a council person. She is in charge of parks and public properties, so this is kind of her committee is in charge of this somewhat. And then she also is on the ordinance committee, which they were recommending an idea to help pay for the park. So I'm going to let Bailey present a little bit. I think I'm going to have you sit next to Beth because they'll put the camera on you over there then. And she's just going to present her ideas from the parks and actually from ordinance committee. It's kind of more ordinance, and I think parks are going to look at this and talk about it some more too. So Bailey, I'll give you the floor for now. Just so and just so you know, planning commission, you know, anything that comes by, we should have our input on how we think the city should be planned, as well as the parks committee. That's why it's going. So okay, go ahead, Bailey.
Yeah, thank you. So again, Bailey, Parks and Public Property Chair. This is really just to bring awareness and kind of some thoughts and ideas that we have with a lot of the projects we have going overall in parks. So obviously there was a resolution that came out. We did not move forward with it with the end of Lake Street, but I'd like to provide kind of some context around what we were trying to do there. And it obviously needs to go through additional discussion as well. Rob sits with me in the Parks Committee as well. And so what we're trying to do is really narrow down what the park's purposes are going to be, what types of recreation are going to be moving forward, and have dedicated areas for people to enjoy those. We do own several different properties down on the riverfront area. We own that A-frame house, which we just extended the lease for another 5 years. But down the line, it'd be really great to have additional amenities and availability to different things for our residents and for people that are here touring and visiting. And so if we have a dedicated launch for more manually driven watercrafts, which could be anything from paddle boards to kites to small sailboats, pretty much like anything you can think of, rowboats, what have you. So the one thing just said kayaks, it's much larger than that. And then really to try and hone in on looking at the beach as well. There's going to be a lot of reviews of these different parks areas and what those intended purposes are. So I know that there's reasons why people go and use that kayak launch for swimming and other things like that. So I know that there's things being brought forward to the ordinance committee to look at maybe loosening some of those guidelines at the beach area to accommodate having inflatables, I guess is what it is, really is the one thing that's setting people back. But that will allow us to also down the line plan a little bit better. So you guys have the comprehensive packet with you right now. The beach is on page 28, but overall, you know, we're working with Israel with the Cooley River Trails. We have the Riverfront project going. And I think it's time for us to take a look at all of this and really start designating what we want to do as a town and for our future, to have amenities for our residents and things for them to enjoy, but also for tourism. And so to give another context on the charging, you know, we have preventive maintenance that has to be done on our beaches. It has to be done in various areas of our parks. And so the intent would be similar to the boat launch. If you're launching something, obviously there's going to be a higher amount of traffic through that area. It's probably going to need some additional preventive maintenance. So taking a look at that and saying, okay, what is really going to be needed in order to preserve this beach? Obviously, you have erosion. There's riprap that's down there. There's a staircase that's going down, which is a little sketchy in terms of trying to launch. So is that the best appropriate thing to have there? So to really have funds set aside that would be able to go towards maintaining that area so we can keep it looking nice. I've gotten a lot of emails regarding the beach. It is something we're looking at. We're working with the city staff to address a lot of those concerns, and I believe some of them have, which is great. And so if people do have ideas and thoughts, we would encourage you to share those. You can email them. I have another Parks Committee meeting that's coming up, I believe, at the end of June, which we would welcome anybody's thoughts and ideas because this is a community effort. And we do like input because we want to make this for our future and for other people to enjoy moving forward. So that's what I wanted to share today, just to give you guys context and awareness of what we're doing so we're aligned with the planning committee as we move forward. And as we have additional changes come, we'll definitely keep you guys updated and aligned with the path forward. Do you guys have any questions at all for me at all?
Page 26 is actually the beach you're
26,
talking about.
yeah, sorry.
For the 28 might be the Prescott Beach. 26 is the one we're talking about.
Yes.
So anybody questions?
You have a question? I saw a couple hands.
There was some talk about 4 parking spots down there.
There's very limited parking, that is correct, yep. So it's
There-
really a roadside parking area, so you can't,
Kind of going out and up on the right-hand side there.
correct, yep. And so there is limited parking down there. Most of the time that I've gone down there, except for weekends, obviously, it's pretty barren. There's not a lot of people there. It's usually people that are launching. There's people that do RC boats down there, I
I
believe
don't
that's
think you
down.
should be parking right next to that stairway down.
No. And we do not, I believe we have do not parking signs in that area. And, you know, another thing that we had discussed is to get better signage of what you can be using that space for. And I know that Jane's taking a look at it and, we're trying to get better communication through that standpoint to people that are coming down there to use it.
I think that would be handy if they had some kind of ramp with a pipe handrail.
Dave and I talked about that.
And I don't know where the property, the lake line is.
Yeah,
It seems to me it'd be
yes. A walk down ramp.
questionable as far as how far you can get that down there.
Yeah, it's definitely something we'd probably have to consult the DNR on, I'm assuming, and that is never an easy task. But there is a set of stairs going down there. I have paddle boards. It's not the funnest
that's-
stairway to get down if you have a watercraft, and if your watercraft is too wide because it's fairly narrow, you can damage it. So then you're trying to pick it up over the edge, which is not good either. So there's additional things that we need to look at as well long-term.
Yeah.
And I would agree, a ramp
have
is
to engineer
much
that.
more appropriate for that area.
So,
I was going to ask about parking as well. Okay. So.
Yes.
I actually also talked a little bit about the signage about park closing at sunset like all the other parks in town. No alcohol, dogs on a leash,
Grilling.
pick up after your dogs. That's been a big complaint, but you know, we have been getting some really good ideas and stuff, and we're gonna be talking about all that and seeing how we're gonna implement all that.
And I'm personally pretty excited about a lot of these projects that we have going on right now. I feel like we've made a ton of headway in the past 3 years. I was just reelected this April, and just the fact that we have gotten to where we're at now, I'm pretty excited that, you know, the railroad thing, I didn't know if that was gonna happen down in the riverfront, if we were gonna be able to adjust that plat. So that was a huge, huge step forward for us to really start paving the way for what that riverfront is gonna look like. So that's pretty exciting. So a lot of this stuff is exciting. There are a lot of different opinions attached to it, very aware. But again, definitely open and willing to hear people's feedback on what they would like to see in terms of our parks.
Any other questions? If not, so again, this park in the past, it's just been, this beach has really been open to anybody doing anything. You know, and we've allowed people that couldn't do floaties to go out with their swimming. They'd have fishermen, they have dogs, you have the boats, kids just splash around. And I think first I'm like, well, it's okay, let it be that way. But as you know, talking with Bailey, I half agree. Now, the one thing I say, and I know dogs are on leash. Technically, our ordinance says either on leash or in voice command, and that is the only one place that people can take their dog to splash in the water. So my opinion, and maybe you set hours, and that's the planning commission can still give feedback. So maybe when parks kind of decides what they want, they'll throw it at us one more time. But I'm thinking dogs, but maybe you take your dog between 8 and 10 in the morning, when probably you're less likely to have people launching boats. But give them that option. Just maybe we set time periods and pull some of that swimming out, because as Bailey and I talk, you have a beach. Do you really need one down there? So it's just
Some of the fishing ideas too that we have for that
oh
area
yeah,
is
yep,
neat.
yeah, we do.
So there's other ideas for fishing piers, like all kinds. So there's a lot of ideas being thrown out that I never even thought of previously that I think are great.
So the commission itself, if you have thoughts, don't be afraid to call. You know, get a hold of Bailey. Her email's on the city's website. So is Rob's, as mine, or staff, and just say, hey, here's some thoughts. Let the Parks Committee know, and when it comes back, we'll still have that chance to say yay or nay what we think is a good idea.
You gotta have that posted.
And that's the biggest thing. I think.
For vehicles tops. See, otherwise they're just gonna jam it all up.
I think signage is probably our biggest issue. Once we determine what's going to be there, we just got to make sure we post it very well.
Yep.
Plus for awareness, I have been here most of my life, and I just recently realized that was open to the public.
Public, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Most
another
people
thing.
don't know,
Yeah.
and you know, down the line, as we start continuing our journey forward towards realigning our parks and their purposes and different amenities, I would love to see rentals as a part of the city, being
Yep.
able to provide things
Yep.
like paddle boards or kayaks. So a lot of great vision stuff happening, and I just want to make sure we keep that traction going. But in order to do that, we really need to start doing some of this harder work.
Identifying.
That's not fun to have those conversations, but we need to start doing it in order for us to plan for the future.
And as the commission knows, you know, there's times there's going to be the 2-3 people that, I think it's terrible. We've done this all our lives. You know, we're not here to make everyone happy. If we are, I always say, if you're making everyone happy, you're doing something illegal. That's my opinion in life.
Very true.
Is there room to expand like parking at some point in the future too? or
There's a
not
lot,
really?
it's a lot of private property, but
it?
you know, with Mike's new parking lot and hopefully the next level that we can potentially get out of it. And then if, you know, we do rentals in the future, if there could be some either type of delivery service.
Shuttle or something.
Yeah, shuttle.
Okay.
That'd be really great. So again, lots of great ideas, and I think they're all achievable. We just have to plan it appropriately and have the correct things in place for us to do that, which is this. Yep.
And the city owns quite a chunk down there. They actually own like a whole city block, like 300 feet of
Yep.
the riverfront. So that's where Bailey, when she mentioned the fishing pier, it's like, okay, yeah, the beach is
that
fine. Maybe
down.
we go downstream a little bit and put a little fishing pier out for the kids. So you kind of separate the uses, and yet you're still using that property. Everyone has a chance to use it. So just thoughts. So again, commission, don't be afraid as you're thinking about it, drive down there. If you have ideas, throw it at City Hall. They can let Bailey and Rob know, because they're on that committee. And we'll kind of move forward, and they'll come back to us once they kind of have a finalized, and we'll just give it our blessing and so forth. All right? All right, thank you, Bailey, appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's just an update. Any other business? Anybody in the commission have any thoughts or questions they have, or? If not, there's always number 7.
Motion to adjourn.
No,
Oh, what? You got something yet?
I want it on record that I thank Jim Jane Wren for all her work over the years on everything.
Yep,
The whole city of Prescott should be
yep,
thankful to her. And she did a fantastic job.
yep,
And now things are changing a little bit, but
yep.
we'll miss her.
And she chose that, so, yeah, but she's done a lot, so it's a good thing. All right, appreciate it. Anybody else? Other business for comments?
She's not getting away that quick, she'll still be.
Yeah.
Or longer, if I have my way.
All right, so I did hear a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second motion.
Okay, motion made and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.